time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back and happy Monday. All right, guys, so we have a huge week ahead of us. So all of you who joined us in our morning meeting on our second channel, Up and Adam 2, you know everything that we have in store for this week. But if you guys didn't, you can go back and be a part of the replay crew, and don't forget to get subscribed. Now, we have a lot to talk about for Hot Messy Topics. It's been a hot minute because, as you know, the Scandival has completely taken over. But now it looks like our Bravo talent, they're back in the game. We named this cease and dismiss because we have a lot to clear up when it comes to the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Real Housewives of Orange County, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Ultimate Girls Trip, and the Scandival. So before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and let's welcome Jason. Hello.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Yes. Okay, Jason. I don't even know at this point, like, where does one start?
Where does one start? Because we have hot, messy topics to go over today. Like, can we just, the only thing I keep thinking about, and I know no one wants to start here, is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Just really quick. We can get that out of the way in like 5 seconds.
Right. Okay. Well, let's get that out of the way. I did do a poll where to begin with the mess, and Pump Rules came in first. New Jersey Gag Order and Cease and Desist came in second.
Ooh.
And then Beverly Hills OC came in last, and Ultimate Girls Trip came in third. So
I feel like Beverly Hills is quick. People are coming into the room, and it will be a nice place to start.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Let's do this. All right, guys. So for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, since Jason wants to bang this one out with over 200 in the room, that's wild. Everyone wants to know about the cease and desist. Did I receive a cease and desist? That's like the big question right now. I cannot wait to clear this up, but we're going to go based off of what Jason wants first. It makes sense. So for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kim Richards was seen filming with Kyle Richards and Dorit Kemsley. And that's not all. Actually, it's not all at all. We have 3 housewives, former housewives, who are currently filming, which kind of gives me a little pause because it makes me think in my head, if these 3 housewives are filming, do we not have a strong season? I'm going to show you the video. Thank you to CC Loves You. She posted it.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
You can see Kim is activated. He's talking. They lean in. Like, it's so funny how they do this without all of the, they have all the cameras in their face. Accurate is all of it. Hiding behind the bushes. Can you imagine having become a reality show basically? Look at my phone. They're all really interested, but they're not.
Mute that screen audio. I don't know.
That out for a second. Now,
I don't know. We were
what?
talking about this and how you said it's kind of, I don't know. We know Denise and Camille are also filming, or we're at a dinner party that was being filmed.
Right here.
And you made a great point of, are they just reaching here? Is there not like a great season? Like, is the cast not there? Like, what's going on where we need all of these people back? But I'm kind of here for it. But I understand how we might maybe be preparing for a boring season.
Right. Bravo Housewives posted this, and I mean, they caught it, right? It shows Denise's name, and Denise was sitting right next to Garcelle, and you can see in here, they're saying Denise Richards is back filming for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then Camille Grammer, or Camille Meyer now, I guess, but Camille was also saying, hi, I'm headed over to Kyle's house, and you can see the cameras right behind Justin Sylvester. Justin Sylvester is on E! News. So that's my whole point. We have 3 former housewives filming. My question is for the live chat, and I posted this in our community tab this morning. Shaylee did. But which of these 3, if you could have one of them back as a full-time housewife, would you take? Jason, who would you take?
None of the above.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a huge, like Denise, I was so excited to have her on the show. That, I mean, went like it did, bravo. And Camille, she's a shit stirrer. I like her around. I think maybe her better than Denise, but Kim Richards, like, I don't know. Even just watching a conversation between Kim, Kyle, and Dorit, I'm already kind of bored no matter what it is.
I mean, Okay. So, and my thing also with this too is we don't know what the new season is going to look like. Everyone is kind of, it's funny because it was just like what Andy said on Radio Andy. Like everyone wanted Ramona gone. And now that Ramona is gone, people are like, no, bring her back. It's going to be a boring season. He's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Now, people were advocating for Lisa Rinna because she was the villain of the show to be taken out. But will we have the pot stir? Will we still have the excitement? Or is it going to be a lackluster season? Kyle Richards posted the other day, she's like, lions don't run with sheep or something like that, meaning like she's not running with the rest of the herd. Who knows?
Yeah, no, and who does know? It's all speculation at this point. It's still too early to really know some details. And this is a dinner party. So
Right.
we've seen a lot of former people show up at dinner parties. We know that Denise has a relationship with Garcelle. Of course, Kim and Kyle. Like, yeah. Where is Kathy? I want to
Where-
see Kathy film with Kyle and Kim. I would love to see that. I also want to see if we are going to have a different friend of who might make a, I don't know.
I think we're gonna have
more of
Dorit's
a
friend. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
guys, actually, I'm not so mad about this because the last season, it's like everybody's so annoyed with Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 4, giving us 90 Day Fiance vibes where we know what's going to happen before watching the show. So really, you
Right.
only watch the show to get the context of the real situation, which is, I don't know if that's the best thing. But for this season, it seems like they're keeping a lot of things under wraps, which is either a good thing or it just means there's not shit to talk about. I don't know.
It might be a good thing. Remember, we left off with a really bad taste in our mouths from last season. That's a pretty popular opinion, I think, but we're kind of drained from Beverly Hills. So when they do come back and then when we're all waiting for it, we really need to see some hype, some fun, and some fun drama. You know, not the crazy stuff that really happened off the show last year. That didn't really happen on the show. Everyone was getting mad about the stuff that was happening off the show, and it was getting a little overwhelming and a little negative, a little dark.
A little dark. I agree with the Green Priestess. They need a new woman, but if Kathy Hilton will film with them, which I don't know how that looks. I mean, she's a friend of, so since it's a limited role, she kind of gets to come and go as she pleases. But she's also filming Paris in Love 2 right now. And if she's going to focus on a show, it's not going to be the show where people are tearing into her, questioning her. It's going to be the show where her daughter is in control of the edit and it makes them look a certain way, which, duh, that's a no-brainer. Wouldn't you take that show over Real Housewives?
I mean, of course. And then here I am thinking, you know, with the big scandal of it all, and with a lot of talk about LVP, with Garcelle filming with Lisa Vanderpump for Vanderpump Rules, I'm sitting here hoping this is kind of a segue into her return to Beverly Hills. That's what I would really have liked to see. I know that she still really has no interest, especially after her Watch What Happens Live appearance. She told Andy he's on the right track, but we still got a few more to get rid of besides Lisa Rinna. I don't know if we'll ever see that happen, but that's what I was really looking forward to. That's the punch I was looking forward to. If they can do that in another way, I'm looking forward to it. I just don't want a repeat of last season where it was like really hard to watch.
Yeah, that's fair. And with that, I think, Jason, you asked for us to get it out of the way. It's out of the way.
Oh, but really quick too, you know, since we're watching, we just finished the Real Housewives of Miami. You see that having a lot of ladies, a lot of friends of just a few housewives. I think there's 5, 6 housewives, and we have like 9, people all together with the friends. It can really work with a big group dynamic. So maybe that's what they're going to bring to Beverly Hills, and maybe we'll have a few friends of, and a lot of people really adding into, playing background.
I love when
minor focus.
Before we get into Ultimate Girls Trip, because I know we have a few other things to cover, but if you guys aren't watching it, it's actually really good this season.
So good.
And I love when Alexi is like, Adriana is so jealous. That's why she's just jealous because I'm a full-time housewife and she's just a friend of. I'm like, what does your good friend Marisol think watching this? Like when you talk about it like that, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now let me just get into the Vanderpump Rules drama, bro. The Vanderpump Rules drama and everything that's going on with them. First of all, something to celebrate. Lala Kent just bought a brand new home, and I talked about this a little bit in a pre-record this morning, but she bought a brand new 2,300 square foot home. I mean, brand new. It's from 2014. It's brand new to her, but it's actually right next door to Sheena. That's interesting.
So I'm thinking that maybe season 11, there will be a big shebang in Palm Springs.
Yeah,
And we
I'm
have 2
thinking if I were
homes.
them, I would cut a hole in that fence and just connect it so they could have bomb-ass parties. Put, like, a little gate right
Yes.
there,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
That
but
would be
no,
fun.
I mean, the fact that she just bought a $1.35 million home, and I saw some of the comments on the pre-record, and this is just a little wild to me because they're like, "Adam, why are you supporting Lala Kent?" She's on a TV show. She said it in her interviews. When I get paid to do the TV show, I get activated. When the cameras are not on me in my everyday life, that is not necessarily how I act. One pays me, and when I'm not getting paid to do it, then I'm really relaxed, chill, and I'm hanging out with my baby. Jason and I talked about this in the car yesterday because Jason's never had a bad experience with her, and
Yeah,
neither have
and
I.
someone did ask us too, who in real life is like they are on the show or who is very different from what they are on the show. And we're going to save that tonight for our members only because we'll dissect all of them. I know I've told a few stories in our little members only that we're doing specifically every week for Scandival, where we kind of go behind the curtain of of the Vanderpump scene, the Vanderpump bubble that we were in for so many years.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
but yes, we can totally answer that. I actually have never had a bad experience with Lala. Like in person, she is the nicest person you can meet. But you guys got to remember, like this is like Survivor, man. Like it really is. Look at the Housewives right now. You have to bring it. You have to show it to maintain legitimacy on the show.
Yes.
I think this season, though, with what Lala's been through, with what Sheena's been through, a lot of people are having issues on what they're saying when it comes to pertaining to the Scandival, because they've all been there, done that.
Right.
I
It's
do
like,
agree with everyone though, too, because I've seen the opposite comment of they were younger. It was a different zone. Now, like Tom and Ariana were in this relationship for almost a decade. They were moving in a very serious direction, and a 7-month affair when you have a home together and stuff like that, no matter what I did 10, 15 years ago, like I think you still have a right to your opinion,
right.
but I know since she is so passionate about it, people are saying, well, do you remember? That's how you got your man.
Right. No, it's fans are looking at this like it's extremely hypocritical. And I've seen people keep like trolling my comments and they're like, Team Raquel all day, up and at 'em. And I'm like, I don't have a dog in this fight. Be Team
No,
Raquel.
we talk about it, but I'm not Raquel or
Yeah.
Ariana.
I didn't sleep with someone's man. So that's up to, like, if you're Team Raquel, that's okay. If you're Team Tom and Ariana, if you're Team I don't give a shit, that's great too. I
I'm
mean,
team I
it's all
don't give a
fine.
shit. Listen, I'm actually team Ariana because I love her. I think this is like kind of a shitty situation to go through in the public eye. It is not for cameras, as much as everyone loves to say. We're just so used to and so trained to think that everything is thought of before, and they're just doing this for ratings and stuff like that. This is actually something that is very real.
Right.
So I think that's where it hits the most, and that's where you get those feelings the most. But definitely Team Ariana. But when it comes to it, guys, remember it's not it's not our life.
Exactly. And, just like you're saying, listen, if you want to, we'll save it all for tonight. Behind the scenes,
Behind the
members
scenes.
only. Jason and I worked on and off for Lisa for literally as long as Tom and Ariana's relationship. We have a lot to talk about.
For as
Everybody,
long as we've been together.
yeah. Since I was 20 years old, I'm 29, and my 30th birthday is literally, it feels like tomorrow. So, oh, by the way, we'll celebrate together, Adam's family. But my point is, yeah, we'll save it tonight for the members only. Just a tidbit for everybody in the room. We have 400 people. The members only is $2.99 a month. We're doing a members only live every Monday for the rest of the duration of Vanderpump Rules, and then we'll switch it to something else. But probably anytime between 6 and 7 p.m. Eastern. Tonight, we moved it up by an hour because I'm going to be sitting down with the women from Fox Soul. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But everyone was asking me about Raquel and how is she in person. And I had a very awkward interaction with her at BravoCon. And I'm going to explain it tonight because it makes a lot more sense now that I'm thinking about it and after the Scandival broke.
I know,
But
it's like you had an epiphany.
yes, I had an epiphany. But since we're talking about Ariana, TMZ caught up with her because she's getting ready to go film her new movie with Megan Good. It's a movie about a woman who's trying to buy back her daughter who was trafficked, and she's going to play a police officer. Just take a look. And she also threw a little shade at Tom and Raquel. Thank you so much to Glorified Gossip Girl on Instagram. I love, love, love our Bravo fan accounts. Here it is.
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm just running errands.
Okay.
Wait, Jason, I want to show you this real quick. Look how she addresses them. This is how sweet she is.
So how's your reunion?
She says,
You'll have
"Hi,
to wait
Josh."
and see on that.
Okay. So I heard you're working on a new movie. What are you working on?
Yeah, it's a Lifetime movie.
Okay.
Very excited. I leave tomorrow. Yeah, so I was just printing stuff out for it.
Okay. Is there anything you want to tell us about the movie? Like what character you're playing?
I'm playing a police officer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What kind of police officer?
Like a detective kind of.
What kind of question is that?
So you're investigating stuff, kind
Who
of.
cares?
Yeah.
All right. What are your thoughts about Raquel and Tom hanging out right after the show?
I don't know what they do.
Okay. Do you care at all what they did? Like them hanging out?
At this point, I don't care about anything that I do.
Okay. All right, so you got to deal with the sex toy company. What's going on with that?
Okay, so you can see that she's in good spirits. And that's why I posted the video this morning. She's making moves. She just signed a huge deal with a adult toy company because she is now promoting them. They reached out to her. Why not make as much money as you can? If I were her, I would take all the roles, all the different companies who want me to sponsor their brands, and I would hand Tom as much cash as he put into that house, and I would be like, here, piss off. I'm buying you out of the house since right now we know that you're struggling a little bit because you just opened a new bar and you dumped all of your money into it. That's what I would do.
Yikes. Maybe it will make it a little easier. And I don't want to say that she should or have to do anything, but forgiveness is the best revenge, right? So maybe this is going to help just forgive a little bit. She has an acting career going now. Again, a revitalized, role. Maybe it will take her somewhere, and that would be amazing. She has something about her that's going to open, and it's going to be a complete success because people will want to come support her. She maintains being positive all the time, on and off the show. I think people will want to support her, and then she has these new deals with some sex toys, and she's really making the best of all of this. Now, maybe behind closed doors, that might be a little different as she thinks back about the relationship and then has old feelings, because that does drum up old feelings. I would not be able to stop thinking about this. However, I think it makes it a little easier.
They got a house that was completely empty. It was a shell, a beautiful shell, and they custom picked every single piece. So, and they are both still living in the house together. So I'm sure this is awkward. Isn't that awkward?
That you would be so far out of my house. I know it's both of their home. I know legally
that's like
you
if
can't,
you and I were in a fight and I said, get out
there.
of my house, you would say, it's our house. And I would be like, what do I say?
If you're watching season 4 of Succession, which just premiered last night, there's a similar situation, and it's just so awkward. Like, how can you be in this same house? Like, if I were Tom, I would think, I need to get out of here and let this cool down for a long time. And how can you still be in the house after all the stuff we're hearing about the reunion?
No, he's not leaving. He said if she's uncomfortable, she needs to leave.
Oh, so that's another narcissistic move pulled by Tom Sandoval. And I'm not going to see the most extras anymore. It's just Tom Sandoval, the most extra.
Yeah, she's extra AF. Now, Lisa Vanderpump did offer Ariana to move into Villa Rosa with her cat and her dog. And she's like, come stay at my house. And she's like, I thought about it. I just would have went to Villa Rosa in Beverly Park.
Thought about it? I would have been at the front door in 5 minutes.
I would have been like, hey, I have Hanky, I have Panky, and I'm ready to let me into Villa Rosa. I'm here. Okay, so speaking of houses, I know that I talked about Lala's real quick. I just wanted to show you guys photos just so you can see. This is the front of the house, just in case you guys are interested, because this is a big deal as a single mother, and she's paying 6 figures right now to fight her ex over custody. And allegedly, he's facing a lot of financial issues because people are still trying to sue him. But this is the living room. It came completely furnished. $1.35 million right next to Sheena's house.
Do you remember when homes on or off a golf course in Palm Springs were like, I don't know, $500,000 cheaper?
Yes. Look at the indoor-outdoor living, though. That's stunning. Sheena's place. I love how they just show Sheena's place. Like, just cut down those hedges. Make make one of those like cute little arch doors so you can go in and out, right?
Yeah, it'd be great for production.
It'd be great for production. I mean, it really is absolutely stunning. I wonder what Randall thinks about this, because they were saying at one point he was struggling with his Bel Air home. So I'm not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way and move on from the Vanderpump Rules of it all, because we have a lot more to talk about. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Jen Shah, because there's really not a whole lot to keep up with. If you go to dearjenshaw.com, she has 2 journal entries, and those made it all over the major media outlets, but so did this new tidbit of information. Apparently, Jen Shah's release date from prison has been released by the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Bureau of Prisons. That's a mouthful of a word. So they released this
Federal
and said
Bureau
that
of Prisons.
she's now looking at just a little over 5 years, when originally she was looking at 6.5. So I did some questions, which I needed some answers to, and I found out this is before she even does her rehabilitation program, which, if you guys don't remember, Jen Shah has to serve 6.5 years in prison. Her attorneys asked for a prison that has this rehabilitation program, this drug and alcohol program, that if you complete the program, they automatically take a year off of your prison sentence. So now we're at 5 years, but she's doing the program. That puts us at 4 years. Okay. They have other incentive programs within the prison where you can help out, you can teach people things, you can, get educated, you can go to different classes. All of these things have the incentives of knocking time off of your sentence. I wanted to talk to you guys about this because now I'm curious, and she's continuing to pay her restitution, her and her husband, while she's in prison right now. I wanted to see what you guys think, and Shaylee posted a community poll on Up and Adam Channel 2 this morning asking, do you think she'll get 1 to 2 years, 3 to 4 years? Will she serve the full 5 years that she is now?
I think 1 to 2 is definitely wishful thinking. Let's be honest.
Yes.
However, with this situation, however, she is able to pay restitution completely back as fast as possible is what I think the highest outcome of this is for, or would be the best outcome. Sorry. I know there was lots of talks about floating deals going around with other networks that would pay most of the restitution with like maybe a behind the scenes or some kind of documentary. But that's what really needs to happen here. I don't think the focus, I don't know. It's a hard one. This is a hard one because so many people got, twisted and turned by this. However, I feel like if she can make the money and she can pay the restitution back as fast as possible, that's what needs to be happening.
Well, me and my dad and I got into a debate about, my dad is like, he lives for a debate. He calls me on his way to work and he's like, son, what do you think about this? Like, he baits me into a conversation because he wants to argue. And I'm like, here we go.
I think he just wants to tell you you're wrong.
He just
don't think he even wants to have the
Which,
conversation.
and listen, we'll go back and forth and he'll say, I didn't think about it. Or I'm like, oh, dad, you made me feel stupid. He's like, that's right. Well, I got to get off the phone, son. I'm like, thanks. You just made me feel like an asshole. And now you're leaving. Okay, great. So, by the way, say hi to dad. He's playing hooky today and he is watching right now.
You can't say play hooky on here.
Why?
Can you?
What is hooky?
Like you like fake call in sick? It's like
no,
playing
he
hooky
called
from
his
school.
boss and said, hey, I'm going to play hooky today. He told me on the phone.
Then that's not playing hooky. You can't call your boss and say, hey, I'm going to play hooky.
What is it?
What does that mean? What do you mean? What is what? Playing
what
hooky
is it when you
like,
call your boss and say, I'm going to play hooky?
No, it's when you call your boss and you're like, oh man, I'm not feeling that well today. Then you hang up the phone and you like go to the beach.
Oh, so like what your servers did at Pump.
All the time.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, except I got a text message and an ultimatum. Then I gave them one back and then they showed up for work.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. But no, we were talking about it and I was asking, and I want to hear what you guys think in the live chat because I get both sides. One, you have all of these victims, the elderly victims and their families who were done so wrong and lost so much, right?
Yes.
And you want her to pay for the crime. So you want her to sit there in a jail cell and have to just do all of the time because you wronged them and you deserve to sit in that jail cell. But then also on the other hand,
I see that.
I see that. On the other hand, as long as she's in that jail cell, it's the harder it is for her to chip away at the restitution. And the restitution is really, these are elderly people. So I don't know, depending on the ages, I don't know how long everyone's going to be around and how long it takes to get your money back. So I was, some people would think that she would spend less time in prison and start paying it back as fast as possible so these people can get their retirement and their money back. That's what I was asking the live chat. Do you think she should serve a shorter sentence so she could get out, get back on the Salt Lake City Housewives and start chipping away so she can pay back the full restitution? Or do you think she should sit in there, rot in a jail cell for 6.5 years and then come out and then have to pay it, but then some of the victims might not be around? That was my question.
Yeah, and I know we had that kind of talk about that today too. I asked you, I'm like, do you think that there would be space for her to return to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? This is a bit different than, like, let's say Teresa and Joe. You know what I mean? But there, I don't know. It's a very hard place. But then you watch the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City right now. I don't know how the next season is even going to happen. I don't know what's
Mary Cosby.
I know Mary Cosby, but we don't even know if she's solidified as an official housewife or just friend of, right? And what is that going to bring? Is that going to be a full, like her or not, Jen Shah brought a lot to the TV screen, Right. Mary, we miss her, but there's got to be another piece to the chessboard there.
I get it. Vicky Harner said, "Hey dad, let's go camping." Okay. And I asked you guys your opinion, so I want to hear them. Judy, I'm sorry, but keep her in jail. What she did for years to the elderly is awful. It is. And I agree. But at the same time, here's the predicament. It's if there is an option for, let's say, a big network, let's say HBO, Hulu, Netflix, all those things that are whatever, that want to do a documentary on her time, on whatever, and pay most of that restitution. That's an easy way out, but it's also a way to get the money back to people who desperately need it, Right. And just in my opinion. Val Porter said sell all her assets. She didn't have assets. They seized her bags, and a lot of the bags came back as counterfeit bags, like fake bags. And then she didn't own her home. I believe she leased her cars. So yes, they can take some of her jewelry that might be real and seize those. And then she already paid a couple million towards her restitution, but they can't really seize anything else. I think it's either her husband right now has a great job. I'm sure he's chipping away at it, and then she'll have to chip away at it. But also, and this is no shade, I'm sure Jen Shah, because like she said in her, interviews, she would spend $50,000 a month. Well, right now she's not spending $50,000 a month from the prison camp, right? So I'm sure Coach can save that $50,000 or whatever and start chipping away. I don't know, guys. Norma, I don't know. I mean, there is room for the justice too that needs to when you plead guilty, you have to do the crime, pay the time. But at the same time, let's pay the money. Let's get the restitution paid. Let's get the victims paid back. And I think there's a good medium there for that to happen. Yeah. Norma Maldonado said, think of all the years and work people put in their retirement and then lose much of it to a scam. I mean, think of it, Adam. We have things going on that are preparing ourselves for retirement, or when we're older, and when that all disappears overnight because of a link you pushed or something you did on the phone accidentally and you can't take it back. There's no undo button. That can drive people to what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Why am I even here? And then those thoughts start going through your head, and that's not a good place to be either. I do understand that. But I'm saying, if people can get paid back what they lost as soon as possible, as fast as possible, I think would be a very good route. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's move on. I just want to kind of keep you guys posted about that. Guys, 600 in the room. Smash the like button. Show some love. Everybody's excited because we have hot, messy topics back. Oh, by the way, while everyone is in the room, you guys, right after this, go right over because we have this dropping, which is so exciting. Jason, can you just give us a little bit of background? Huh? That's not today. No, it's tomorrow. It says premieres in 24 hours. Oh, I thought you said right after this. No, I'm saying right after
Oh.
that, I was saying go like it. Set the
Go
notification.
like it. This is crazy, Adam. I got to give you so much props for this, okay? Because we've been trying to schedule with Chanel for such a long time,
Yes.
and she's never done a YouTube or podcast interview. So that was also something that took some convincing. And then we have to go through all of the proper channels of getting it approved, right? So
Right.
once it's approved and we're ready to go, now we have to work around time. The time difference in Dubai is 8 hours, right? So we had this great time slot of like, I think 2 p.m. her time. So like 6 a.m. our time. Like we can make that work. We're early birds. We can get up and, you're the one doing it, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, hey, can't do that, but I'm in Glam in 3 hours. Can we do the interview right after that? And it was 2:30 a.m. our
Yes.
time. And you literally took a power nap, got up, and it was such an amazing interview. I'm so excited for people to see this.
It's going to be so much fun. And just to give a little kind of context behind it too, this past week, everyone knows that Pops' other daughter that he found on Ancestry came in town. So we had the best time, but Jason and I were running on probably anywhere from 3 to 5 hours of sleep a night. So 2 nights of that. And then I was almost certain Chanel was going to cancel on me. I didn't hear anything back from her. So then when she reached out and said 2:30, I was like, I'm good. I'm in there for it. And then she messaged me. She said, on in 20 minutes. I said, okay. So I sent her the link and we ended up recording it. And we recorded for about 30 minutes. And she let us know, she's like, when I met you at BravoCon, I knew if I was going to do an interview with anybody who's not major media, I'm like, I don't know if that's shade or not shade, but I love you, Chanel Ayan. And she was like, we're going to do it on Up and Adam. And then afterwards, she had the best time. So we will have her back when the new season comes on for sure. But she was so great. And she mentioned so many different things. It's a great interview, a must see. Make sure you guys check it out. And since we're talking about all of that and talking about going through the proper channels to get things
really
going
quick,
on,
Adam, I get to give
Right.
you another props. Dubai is one of my favorite franchises. I just know the first season, they're just warming up. They're just getting on their feet. I love that you just had Caroline Stanbury on 2 weeks ago. I love that Chanel Ayan is here. I know we have a few more Dubai women coming on as well, but I love talking to them and just keeping us interested and kind of, I don't know, just keeping them there until we get to season 2, which we don't know when that's premiering this year.
Yes, I agree. Tea Talk with Shah. I hope I get to see her at BravoCon. Love her. She is so excited for BravoCon. She was saying in the interview, and you'll see, she's like, please, I want everyone to come up to me. She's like, I just want to be friends with everybody. They were telling me how much they love me and they love my son. And she's like, I was hugging people, crying with them. She's like, I was dancing with people. She said Luann walked up to her or walked past her, and she didn't start watching Housewives until she became a housewife. And Lisa and Caroline Brooks guided her as to which housewives to watch. So they told her Beverly Hills in New York. So she saw Luann from New York walking through the back, as like they're trying to get to the different panels. She stops her and literally says, oh my God, Luann, I love you. Sing for me. And Luann just stops like, I'm going somewhere. And she's like, sing for me. And she's like, what song? And she's like, Feeling Giovanni, and starts dancing. So Luann does like this whole performance backstage she had the time of her life. I mean,
I think everyone did too. And before we were going, even I was kind of skeptical about how BravoCon was going to be. I wasn't really excited to go. And a lot of people who thought the same way had a really good time. BravoCon is definitely worth the experience. And this year, I think they're talking Vegas, so that could be even more fun.
Yes. We will keep you guys posted. Someone else just said, I hope you nab Vanderpump interviews once the season wraps. I mean, I've already spoken with Ali Luber and Sheena. Right now, Ariana Madix is not going to speak to anyone. And I know that Real Housewives of New Jersey is under a gag order right now. Bravo is not going to let any of the Vanderpump Rules cast do any press with anybody other than themselves and their own podcast until this season wraps. Yeah. But a little bit of a teaser for you guys. I don't like to usually tease interviews until we actually record them, because if we say a name and it doesn't come to fruition, we just look like a bunch of liars. And that's not what we do over here. I don't want to do that. As of right now, we have something major in the works. Someone who on Vanderpump Rules, and we're hoping for a full sit-down interview, but it wouldn't be until this summer. So that's all we can give you. Trust me, we're constantly working. Shaylee is downstairs, like booking interviews as we speak. So it's all happening. Hashtag it's all happening, just like Sheena says. Anyways, I want to get into the cease and dismissed of it all, guys. We have some drama to talk about, and somehow I got roped into this shit. Jason, what are your thoughts about? Okay, where do I
My
start?
thoughts are, it's just amazing to me how many people know our lives that, a little better than we do. But, there's been a lot of cease and desist going around for certain housewives with certain YouTube bloggers, things like that. Yeah, I don't know. So we just want to dismiss what has been kind of said about us, because you did an interview with Margaret Josephs, a live interview, just what, a week and a half ago?
Yes.
2 weeks ago? A week ago?
I'm just gonna
Okay.
right. I'm just gonna give the context of what happened. You
Sure.
guys know that I dropped the interview with Margaret Josephs. I asked her the questions. She gave me the answers. I never, when I go into the interviews, especially when the cast, there's strict rules with Bravo. You're either going to be on Bravo's good side or you're going to be on the no-fly zone, meaning if you keep going behind their back and you try to get the talent to ruin something that they spend a lot of money and time into making, like their season with spoilers or whatever, because you're trying to get that wild moment where you're featured all over page 6 or whatever because you broke that first. That's great for you in that moment, but then you're kind of putting the nail in your own coffin when it comes to booking future talent. So we're very cognizant and aware when it comes to the questions that we ask. And when you bring on talent and their show is currently airing, you really keep it about them, their businesses, their charities, their own personal relationships, and what you've seen on the show so far. No spoilers. It's like you cannot. So,
well, and just as a viewer too, who wants to get spoiled about, still 3/4 of a season to watch,
Right, exactly. It's like Ultimate Girls Trip Season 4. People now know about the Caroline Brandy thing, and they're like, okay, why do we even need to watch? You don't
And
want
now with
spoilers.
season 3 being so good, they have a lot to live up to for season 4.
I used to unwrap the end of my Christmas presents and I would see what I got, and then I didn't have the same reaction when I would open my presents on Christmas. And
The best analogy for that.
it ruined it for me. So I'm just, that is why. And so for Margaret Josephs, I asked her, because I wanted to see, do you feel bad? Now watching the episodes back with Jennifer Aydin's daughter saying that she wants to become a love therapist instead of a Broadway star, does that change the way that you feel about dropping that bomb in Jennifer Aydin's lap? She gave an answer, and the answer had nothing to do with Jennifer's kid. All Margaret said in this interview was, I don't think that I can't carry the weight of all of the blame. That is not my responsibility. This was happening. It's not all on me. That was pretty much her answer. Well, somewhere along the line, someone got upset. And for us, Jason and I have built this entire platform, not only with hard work, but by maintaining relationships with the Bravo talent and NBC. So if there's something that makes another cast member uncomfortable, they're still real people. So in the moment that I found out that someone was uncomfortable and it was brought to my attention, it was just easier to take that interview down. That was my 3rd interview with Margaret. There will be many more with Margaret. It doesn't affect
she's
us to
booked to
take
come
it
back
down.
on already. So yeah, I mean that's just it. It's just respect. I mean, there are a lot of legal things happening. There are a lot of, with that franchise, there's a lot of a lot of shit going on behind the scenes with that franchise right now, right? So there's been a lot of things flown around everywhere, but no, we needed to be respectful. They asked us, can you edit this? Can you edit that? Can you do this? And we're like, we'll just take it down, because it's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. The relationship isn't worth, making
It's just not worth. It's not that, for me, we don't get paid to fight with people. It's not that deep for us. So it's, we put up anywhere from 4 to 6 videos a day, guys. If we have to take one down, we put up interviews all week. If we have to take one down or maneuver, it's just how it works. It's okay to us. But then I see where I'm getting so many DMs, and I don't even know who came out and said this, but it's like, Adam, I heard you got a cease and desist, and that's why you took down the Margaret interview. I did not receive a cease and desist. If I did, I would say I received one. I've never had a cease and desist in my life. It's probably because I don't operate that way. I mean, I don't say anything like that's negative or trying to hurt someone's family. So I don't get cease and desist. I'm not saying that every cease and desist is valid, and when people send them out, like, the person always deserves it. I'm just saying we have never received one ever. And no, this time, I don't know who's saying that, or I don't know where it's coming from. We just don't get them, and we haven't gotten one yet.
And valid questions, though, because we did remove the interview. So
yes,
that's
it's a valid question.
And I think that's okay to answer, respectfully too. So definitely.
Yeah. Thank you, Norma. Adam, you always have integrity. I agree. Y'all keep it real cute. Yeah. Adam and Jason don't need cease and desist. They do nothing to warrant one, never will. Thank you, Val.
I mean,
Porter.
listen, even what she said in the interview, I don't think warranted, even maybe saying like, hey, but there's so much tension behind the scenes in Jersey right now, and they have a lot on their plate. And when I say they, I mean like behind the scenes of production and PR, NBC.
Oh, with the cast divided.
We just don't. Yeah, oh my God, it's divided like so far off screen too. I'm so glad we're not seeing that. Well, we're starting to see kind of like of what's reminiscent of Beverly Hills at this point. So I hope it doesn't become that negative,
I mean,
but
I want to talk about this whole situation that's going on. There's a lot going on with Melissa Gorga and Joe Gorga, and now there is an account on Instagram, Housewife Historian. I want to talk about it and go through it with you guys and form an opinion with you guys, because I've just been getting little tidbits, and we've had family in town. Jason and I are running on 3 hours of sleep a night. I have not had time to follow everyone's cease and desist. Okay. So I don't know what the hell was going on. That's why I wanted to do hot, messy topics. I did a little bit of looking into it. I pulled some photos and videos to talk about it. Let's get into it really quick. Because Housewife Historian received a cease and desist, I believe. I'm going to bring these up. Here we go.
But I heard she was doxed too.
Well,
that's not good, right?
Hi. Due to the doxing and bullying, I haven't been able to correspond with my usual wonderful subscribers to make sure viewers are getting the correct information. My mom took her life when I was 19. The trauma from this single unforeseen event changed the projection of my entire life. I was a smart, well-behaved teenager and was working at a bank before even graduating high school. I started having horrible anticipation anxiety. This was 20 years ago. Mental health was barely a thing in the early 2000s. Someone can live their whole life with no signs of mental health, but any traumatic event or trauma can alter the brain, resulting in crippling anxiety, depression. Hold on. It keeps going. I got a fake ID, started running with a rough crowd, and was out partying every night of the week. I ended up getting in trouble, and the New Jersey Housewives team has dug so deeply into my personal information that they are legitimately doxing me and trying to intimidate me with this public and already well-known information. Today, I am educated and certified. I have been blessed with the opportunity to share my story to inspire hope. I work hand in hand with women who are suffering from mental health and or addiction issues. Sadly, most are victim to DV or SA. Overcoming people's stigmatism is a legitimate obstacle, and this is a perfect example. Her team is trying to embarrass me and release my personal information, and it's a pathetic attempt. It takes a special kind of person to attack me, dox me, and spread misinformation about me. I will be sharing more about this on my YouTube and podcast, so stay tuned. P.S. Thank you to all the people that are showing me love and support. It means more than you know. I am trying to keep up with the DMs. Thank you for your patience. Now, I want to show you guys really quick. She did a video, and I want to say this. I wasn't aware. I don't know what was going on. We have sat down with Melissa Gorga. We did an interview with her. Melissa was nothing but sweet to us. When we post, we speak back and forth with Housewife Historian, and she reposts stuff and supports our channel. She's been nothing but sweet to us. We don't have a dog in this fight. We're just trying to understand what's going on. I just wanted to make that clear. But she did post this video. Let me bring it up. This is her, so you can go follow her if you'd like. Hold on.
Happy Friday. Today we are going to be talking about how a popular New Jersey housewife sent me a cease and desist yesterday. I want to get into all of the details with you guys, but it's been a long couple of days. It was not just one video. It was just not one cease and desist. It actually started the night before with family members of this reality star emailing me, texting me on my personal cell phone number, emailing my personal email. I cooperated. I read their emails. I replied back professionally. I took the video down just out of a courtesy, just out of like saying, you know what, just as a courtesy for this one time, I'll take this dumb video about your unopened dry bar down. No problem. Okay. You have a great day, sir. And then somebody slipped into my DMs but because she's J-Lo and I didn't answer her fast enough, she had unsent them by the time I woke up and I was being doxxed. So shout out to Dre Fab for 2022 for catching that, and I really appreciate that. But there's going to be part 2, 3, and 4, so make sure you guys stay tuned.
Okay, so then I don't know if she continues on and this is another one, but hold on.
Hey guys, I just wanted to hop on and ask if you guys don't mind going on and reporting RHONJ news, because they are encouraging people to dox me and spreading lies about me and leaving comments for people to Google me. So if you guys...
I mean, I feel like this is just not stopping. I mean, like, it just keeps going, and there's so many things that are posted, and she keeps talking about it. And then it came up earlier this morning. There was this, and I was looking at this, and it said something about Real Housewives or Real House husband of New Jersey, Joe Gorga, allegedly caught shoplifting at Home Depot, sued for over $17,000. I don't know. That's the thing that I wanted. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I don't know what's going on. She's saying housewife historian is claiming that she is being doxxed and she feels like she's being harassed, and she's sharing her story. And she's saying they're trying to put out this information of me going through a tough time in my life as if it's new information. And here's a little bit of context to it. I'm wondering why Melissa Gorga, if she did send cease and desist, why she sent a cease and desist in the first place? Because of a video that she took down? What?
I have no idea. I'm a little lost in it too, because here's the thing. Like with Diana Jenkins sending a cease and desist on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right? She sent out a couple.
That made sense to me.
Okay, that makes sense, because you're really claiming something happened. There was no allegedly or
you
whatever.
You were calling her a madam.
Here's the
and
thing,
saying
though.
that it was with Jeff Epstein.
Yes, and people were doing it as if it was fact, knowing that they had firsthand information of it, which is obviously not true. I totally understand that. However, when you're on a show, a reality show, when we chose not to do a reality show for this very reason. We don't want to be talked about like that, like it's, people, you're the perception, right? People get twisted perception of who you are, or make their own opinions. And then they tell themselves that's who it's just crazy. But you chose to do that show. So when you put yourself on a big platform, you have to be expected. With the good comes the bad. People are always going to say something about you, and not everyone's going to like you. That's okay. That's a lot for people to take on. Now, when it comes to the other side, I mean, people on YouTube and stuff, this is a conversation. The people are always talking about these things, right? I don't know Housewife Historian. I don't follow her or any of her stuff, but we have opinions. People have opinions, as long as it's not going there. But I haven't seen her do anything that would
Well, Norma just said this. Housewife
that.
Historian also posted post regarding Melissa's store Envy upping the price by over 700%. And Agkala Kala said overpriced clothes from Amazon are in her store. So I think what they were also saying, they were claiming or alleging that Melissa is selling clothes, and she is marking up the prices ridiculously. And Melissa is probably clapping back. In my mind, I'm just trying to piece this together. And Melissa's like, this is my business. Even when we did our interview, when she was leaving the interview, she was going straight to Envy. So it's still her business. I think she was she got in her feelings because you're talking about her business, and people are accusing you of marking it up ridiculously because you're a housewife. I don't know. This is wild. And also,
it's wild because I see two sides of the story, right? I mean, you have someone who's just doing their job as someone who talks about the show, right? We do that. And freedom of speech, you can have opinions, allegedly have an opinion. In my opinion, I think that's okay to say. Now, if you say something that's like matter of fact, then there's an issue. And I don't know if that happened or whatever. And then I see the other side of it where like, I'm famous, I'm going to be talked about. You know what I mean? Like there's two sides to this. It's confusing. I would like to know more and see what's going on with the situation.
Well, also, guys, I don't know if you remember, but Melissa and Joe, they moved into their new house, right? They had these I liked the chandeliers in the house, and she used to call them the Dementors, like from Harry Potter. And then people started trolling her about her chandeliers that she put in her new house. So she found a chandelier that she felt like looked better. Okay. I know you're thinking, what the hell does this matter to anything? Well, now people are trolling the Gorgas on the outside of their new house. People are saying that their new house is the ugliest house on the block, that it doesn't look good. It doesn't fit in with the neighborhood. What were they thinking? Their yard, just trashing everything, which is kind of, I mean, in my opinion, I would think that that would be really shitty because it's a beautiful home. And it's like, who cares about the, like, to each their own.
Everybody has an opinion. Yeah, to each their own, especially when it comes to aesthetics of a house, you know?
Right. But now they're claiming, okay, that because of all of this backlash about the way that their house looks, they are actually changing the outside of their home. And I'm like, there's no way that they would be changing the outside of their home. Hold on, guys. Take a look. Almost 800 in the room. Again, hit that like button. Here it goes. Let me see. Present, share screen. Oh, let me just put it on here. I'm going to show you guys this. I don't want you to miss this. It's on All About the Real Housewives. Now, here we go. So this is their house, right?
This is the new one?
This is their new house.
Oh, it didn't look like that before.
Yeah, it did. This is what it
really?
looked like before they started changing it. So now they're building, you see what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
They're building it out so it doesn't have like that kind of heavy triangle, like a box of crowns look. Which I love the house. I think it's sick.
I mean, that to each their own, like you said.
To each their own. But now people are claiming because, you know, everyone's trolling them. Now they're changing it to fit the neighborhood and to match everything
But
else.
are they doing it because they've been trolled, or this was in the plan all along to like do something aesthetically different in the front? You know what I mean?
No, it wouldn't have been the plan all along. I mean, they've been moved into the house. They started changing things after people started trolling them.
Well, I mean, but it takes a minute to get permits and everything else to do all that. So like, it's not like, oh shit, someone said our door's ugly. Let's build out a new entryway. No, there's permits. I don't know if their neighborhood has an HOA. Things have to be approved. Like it takes time. So is it because of trolling, or is it because
no,
they were just doing
don't
that?
build the house to look like this and then all of a sudden build an extension and have to rip out an entire wall.
I don't see too much of a difference. Am I missing something?
Yes. Hold on. A source tells at Melissa's Old Nose on Twitter. You guys are shady as hell. I'm not even kidding. Their house is the most basic on the block. They stand out terribly. So you see that window right there.
God, I wish this was my basic.
I know. So now they built this out to look a little bit different, right? And they took out, you see like all of those triangles on top?
Uh-huh. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, they took all of those down. So they're trying to make it match the neighborhood. And then the source continued with, their neighbors' houses are nice, elegant. Theirs is so ugly. It looks so out of place. Their lawn is a mess. No one can possibly live there. So I don't know where they've been taking their pictures because this house is far from done. Oh. But then also, I don't know why they're saying that either, because there was a video of Melissa and Joe moving all of their furniture, unpacking all of the boxes. Like, she had a company that they partnered with to move all of the boxes. And the whole time she was moving on the move-in day, you see her with her kids, like going into their rooms. She documented all of it. So I don't know why this source is claiming that they don't live in the house, unless they just recently took their stuff out of the house so they can fix or change what they want to change. Maybe that's what they're doing, right? But it's like they're claiming that that they never moved in the house. It's like, what are you talking about? She had videos on Instagram like this of her on the outside, walking into the inside and giving us a tour. You can't say that she didn't live in the house, right?
Yeah.
So
God,
between the
so
cease and
much.
desist and by the way, guys, the Real Housewives of New Jersey are now on a gag order.
Yes, they can't talk to anyone to anyone else within their group. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So much is going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. They can't. She was on Entertainment Tonight showing her house. Exactly. They're not allowed to like any social media posts about each other. They're not allowed to talk bad about each other. Melissa Gorga went on Display podcast, her podcast with her husband Joe, and they explained all of this. And this is the first time ever that they decided to do this. Bravo to the Real Housewives of New Jersey. But again, it is a cast divided. And I think right now they are trying to just keep them under control as much as possible before the reunion. This is going to be one hell of a reunion. So let's go back to a little bit of light and fluffy.
Wow. But it is, listen, doxing's not okay. So I hope that, I don't know if that happened. If it did happen, that's not okay. No one should be doing that, Oh, no, that's terrible. You can't step on the small person. Like, why would you do that? So if that's the case, that's not good.
No. Especially the girls being vulnerable and sharing her story, housewife historian. And you shouldn't be, it's none of your business to be looking up people's personal information. She does a Bravo fan account, housewife historian. She talks about other people and shares things just like other people do. And she's not signing a contract to put herself out there in the public eye. It's a Bravo fan account, right? So if she's doing that, you shouldn't be digging up where she lives, her phone number, harassing her. I think it's just next level. And some people are, I don't know.
And I understand the other side of it too. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say there was a podcaster in Washington and there was this guy, it was a trucker, and this was recent. The trucker was obsessed. He was from Texas. She was from Washington. He became obsessed with listening to her every morning and he started reaching out to her.
Yeah.
And she was nice at first. She lived with her husband and her mother, and she was nice when she would get the DMs and she would answer. But then he got very obsessive and kept DMing. And she said, you know what? I'm going to have to take a step back. And she stopped answering him. He broke into her house. He drove his trucker from Texas all the way to Washington, broke into her house in the middle of the night and killed her and her husband. Her mom heard it, ended up running out of the house and then calling the police. The police came and then they heard a gunshot and he ended up taking his own life so he didn't have to go to prison. People can be scary. So that's why you shouldn't share people's personal information. We've had somebody dox us before and people Jason and I were receiving messages where people were saying that they were going to pull up to my dad's house at X, Y, and Z address, sending us my dad's address.
They sent him those messages too.
Yeah.
And what were we doing? Nothing.
Nothing. That's why I'm saying it's a really scary. You don't know what people are capable of. And you definitely for damn sure should not be like, get them and encourage people to be crazy.
I know. Especially in this day and age, right? Because, and on the other side of it too, when you do have a business, like let's say like Lisa Vanderpump, we had a whole bunch of rumors about her business and pump and stuff from running that restaurant for many years. I knew a lot of that wasn't true. Right. So when people come for your business too, you're like, hold on, that's my livelihood. That's my thing too. I want to protect that. But the details of this, I'm not, they're a little skewed for me right now.
Right. It seems like it's a little bit all over the place and it seems like we're missing a couple of pieces of the puzzle. And
but for someone with a big platform to do something to someone small or with someone small there's so much misinformation right now, especially in the world. It's like people love to jump behind things. Like I even see, for instance, before one of your interviews even premiered, we had it up and there was comments one day before saying, I hate this. This was the worst interview I've ever seen. And then people jumped on that comment, but the premiere hadn't even happened. No one had seen the interview. And people jump behind comments because they don't do or take the time to do their own research to find out if what is being said is true. So there's so much misinformation. So I really kind of hope that people do kind of check before you say things. Go find out some real information or at least do your own research and come to your own opinion.
Yeah, because it's the whole point of the conversation is it's absolutely dangerous. And, if they sent a cease and desist, I hope that this just stops and that everybody, I hope that housewife historian is not getting doxxed or harassed by people and her personal information is not out there. And if the Gorgas sent a cease and desist, it's because they feel like false information is being spread and they're saying, stop talking about me. But the problem is a cease and desist is like a warning. Emily's had to tell me this 500 times. It's like a warning telling you, shut your mouth or you're going to be sued. Cardi B sent a cease and desist to Tasha K. After she sent the cease and desist, Tasha K was like, you, I don't care. She's like, can you believe? And she kept making videos about it. She didn't take the shut up. She was like, you won't shut me up. Well, then Cardi was like, okay, now I'm going to sue you. Cardi B ended up winning. Now Tasha owes her $4 million. And after that, Tasha tried to appeal it. Then Cardi B won again for emotional distress, causing harm to her marriage, all kinds of things. And now they have to go through the legal process. Emily explained this when she was talking about the Bravo scandals, but now they're going to start garnishing Tasha K's wages in order to pay back the $4 million to Cardi B. It's like, you really have to be careful when you put out information about someone, their business, their brand, their character. You have to be careful because
today the world is so different. It's so easy to find out information. Everything, even if you don't want it to be transparent, is somewhere on the internet, right? You put things out all the time and we think no one knows. It's crazy.
Right. Somebody made a good point. Just like you shouldn't post going on holidays. Yes.
That's why many celebrities and many, like even housewives, they are posting photos where they were like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and not in current time because, you've seen all the homes bling ring, Yeah.
I mean, bling ring is like the perfect Paris Hilton's at the club right now. Let's go. It's like,
well,
yeah.
According to what you've shared, no one wants to bling ring Melissa Gorgas' house.
No, okay. Don't throw shade at the Gorga home.
I'm not throwing shade at it. I'm just saying based on what you've said, on what people are saying.
Oh yeah,
I don't think they'll have that issue. Not on what I think.
Now they're making it more Jersey and less Crayola.
If that's basic, give me basic. Like, I'll be good with basic. I didn't like the stop sign in front of the house, but I'll be good with basic.
I want basic. If that's basic, I want the Gorga. I want the Gorga basic, the Judice basic, the Joseph's basic. I'll take the Aiden basic.
I'll be Vanderpump basic.
Oh, I don't know which Vanderpump because some of them just moved in some new apartments, and I'm not necessarily feeling.
Girl, I meant Lisa Vanderpump. I don't want to live in any of their homes. That's good. Yeah. I'm good on the West Hollywood apartments.
Yeah, I was like, we did that for so long. I don't want to go back to West Hollywood. Shouldn't post pictures of your family and especially okay. All right. So we'll move on from this. Guys, Jason, are you okay for another 5 minutes?
Let's do another 5 minutes.
Okay. Real Housewives.
We were going to be on here for like 20 minutes. Sorry, I just interrupted you.
What'd you say?
I said we thought we were only going to be on here for like 20 minutes.
Well, we had a lot of it. I mean, this has been fun. We've had a lot to talk about. This is great. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ultimate Girls Trip is on right now. Jason, my mom, and I binge watched the first 3 episodes. Jason actually fell asleep on the 3rd, so we're just going to keep it to the 2 and talk about the relationships amongst the ladies. Just to give you a little tidbit on the dynamics, we have Heather Gay and Whitney Rose, who are coming right off the heels of Salt Lake City season 3, and they obviously weren't getting along. Bad weather was broken, and we see that. Then we have Alexia and Marisol, who are coming in as the best friends, and we know Marisol loves her cockies and to stir the pot. So that's definitely playing into the dynamics. Leah McSweeney is totally miscast in this. I think that she was really bad casting. And Candace and Giselle, they came on this right after Giselle accused her husband of being inappropriate. So now Candace has to film with her in Thailand. Producers, you're shady. And then there's the Portia Williams of it all. What were your thoughts?
They're using Portia as a narrator. Well, first of all, I was into season 1 of Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip. I thought it was interesting, right? It was fine. It was interesting. Okay. Season 2, a little bit better, but we were missing like I mean, listen, we've all seen Bluestone Manor. It's like they've done Ultimate Girls Trips there just with the New York girls, right? This is amazing. It's one step up. It's international. We're in Thailand. We also have like the best concierge you could possibly ask for, Pepsi.
Yeah.
Who's just kind of doing it. But you're starting to see like the dynamics. Watching Heather Gay is almost a fan of everyone there. That's so interesting to me. Watching Whitney, but really watching, it was so funny because I'm watching Marisol. She's like, my stomach hurts. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, girl, you just consumed like 15 handles of Tito's. Like my stomach would be hurting too. I don't know how you're still walking. You weigh like nothing.
And Jason and I did this trip we didn't fly from Miami. We flew from LA, but to Thailand, it's a long ass trip. So if you're sitting there and you're brushing up on cockies the whole time, and then you're coming and doing more
And if you're
cockies,
having cockies in the air, and then you're having cockies when you land, you're gonna be hurting somewhere. I don't know how they do it on these international trips. I think I've heard, and I don't know if this is actually true, and I'm going to find out if they arrive a few days earlier just to kind of catch up on the time. Because they didn't all arrive like glammed and show up at this house, right? They were somewhere else before.
oh no, because there's not. I don't think. Can you fly directly into Phuket?
Phuket? No, they would have to go through Bangkok or somewhere else first.
Right. So they flew from Bangkok to yeah.
But like, did they have a few days in Bangkok to kind of catch up, to brush up, and then glam themselves? Because they didn't get off a 18-hour, 15-hour, wherever they're coming from, 20-something hour flight, and then arrive like that. Whitney isn't like, she didn't get off the first class flight and like she's hiking up the mountain. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if they had a few days to kind of process and to try to get acclimated at the time.
That's a good question. But I'm having fun with this cast, you know, like I think it's really fun having, by the way, hello, welcome new member Carrie B, and welcome
all the new members. And I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat saying, love this channel, glad I found it. And I just want to say thank you so much for checking us out and being here. And I just saw Nana in the chat, so I'm going to give a big shout out to Nana. Yes.
Nana, welcome in. Hello. Okay.
Nana, it's almost been our 1-year anniversary since we met you.
Yes, Nana. April, we have to do something together. She's like, you're not coming to California, you idiot. No, but it was interesting. I mean, Heather Gay came in and she immediately, which Heather kind of looked, and I hate to say this, Heather made herself look like a little bit of an asshole, like Leah said, because Heather says to Leah and all of the other women, oh my God, I'm such a big fan of all of yours, which you don't come into a Housewives show and say that. Don't show them your cards. She's like, I just want to be liked by everybody. And it's like, that's the problem. That's not the way to start. And then she says to the girls, we should get Leah drunk. Leah walks over and she's like, oh my God, I read your book. Giselle drops the bomb. She was trying to get you drunk. And Leah's like, if you read my book, it's about my sobriety and how I almost died. Why would you try to get me drunk? And I was like, bad start, Heather.
Really bad start. I am really curious to see where the dynamic goes between Candace and Portia as well, because there are some like hits. We know that Portia was good friends with Monique, maybe still is, like really good friends. Monique was at her wedding. So I'm just kind of curious how they're going to navigate this friendship going through.
She need a man and she stole a man. That's what, watch the show and you guys will get what we're talking about. But Portia and Giselle used to do Bravo's chat room and they came in obviously being on the same side. They knew that they were going to buddy up. I'm very happy Portia came in and not Tinsley Mortimer, because I think Portia adds a lot to this cast. But also Portia said on Bravo's chat room that the only reason Candace was trying to sue Monique is so that she could pay for the note on her house. I'm sure Candace did not love that. Portia and Candace are going back and forth and they're trying. I mean, they both hold their own, but I love Candace. I think that Candace is great on the show as a wordsmith. Portia, I don't know. It's like, you can't, do you go up against Portia? She's so seasoned. And like she said, I do Atlanta. You guys are coming to me with this cotton candy shit. Like, we read each other for filth. And she's like, in Potomac, I don't know. Like, this is child's play. And I'm like, you guys really are. In Potomac, it's not the same energy that they bring in Atlanta. In Atlanta, they read each other up and down. It's like it's wild. Like, Candace would fit in Atlanta and she'd be able to read everybody because she's a wordsmith. But like, oh, poor Robin, she would never last.
I wasn't so sure about this cast originally, but now watching them, I'm like, there are so many ladies who need the center of attention. They need to be the center ring at the circus. Alexia, Giselle, Portia, Leah. Oh my God, I forgot how, I don't want to say annoying because I actually do like watching her. It's been a minute since we've seen her. She was annoying, but it's kind of fun to watch her be annoying and annoy other people, right? This is why we're watching the show. But yes, Vicky, to that point, I mean, like, learn some Spanish. Learn some Spanish, Giselle. Don't call it out.
You guys have to watch this because Giselle, this was such an ignorant thing to say. Giselle sounded really, really ignorant. Really ignorant. She's getting
I mean,
upset.
shouldn't she know if her kids are proficient in Spanish that maybe she should like check up on some Spanish
Oh,
too?
and her bullshit excuse, honestly, I thought it was stupid. If I were Alexia and I were Marisol, I would have been pissed because she's telling them, because when they speak, I have a nephew and his parents were raising him to speak. His mother was Brazilian, so she would speak Portuguese, and his father just spoke English. So he would start speaking to me. And I remember it was confusing for him. And when he was like 4 or 5 and he was really forming sentences, he would start in English, go into Portuguese, and then finish off in English, or vice versa, because that's how he spoke. And Alexia keeps calling it Spanglish. And every time her and Marisol start talking, you know, you see Giselle and she's like, no, we're not going to do that. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm triggered because my girls speak Spanish around me and I don't know what they're saying. Who cares? It's their culture.
Well, you aren't triggered. You just don't understand.
We're triggered by the purple curtains
they're
in your
speaking.
house.
They're speaking the Spanglish that everyone understands. Like, listen, people, like we have basically 2 languages in this country, whether you know it or not. You see it. It's listed in English. It's listed in Spanish. Todas las personas en los Estados Unidos hablan español. So, like, we know that a lot of people here speak Spanish, especially in Florida, right?
Right.
So I don't know. Just it's girl.
And like Norma Maldonado said, being bilingual, I go in and out of English and Spanish with family and friends and never realize it. I love when Marisol and Alexia go into Spanish. I do too. Just like in Salt Lake City, we get religion. In Miami, we get English into Spanish, and then they translate and they go back and forth in their conversations. We get different cultures, different religions, and that's the beauty of it, because we get to watch and appreciate something that we might not have been privy to without our housewives. So Giselle wants everybody to sit there and listen to her when she's running her mouth.
I mean, listen, not everyone's, speaks Spanish. I wish I spoke really, really amazing Spanish. I work on it a lot. I love it. And I want to learn more, but I think it was the whole like, oh, I'm a victim to this. And that's where I was like, you lost me, Giselle. But she always loses me in Potomac, in Thailand, everywhere. So.
Yeah. Kat said, I'm going to be an unpopular opinion, but I also find it rude. And no, and I also want you to be able to have all of your opinions. I just think saying it, it's like, it's
but
their
you know
culture.
what's great though is this is another annoying thing. Like, think of it this way. Who just said that? Kat? Yeah. Think of it this way. It's actually really funny to watch. It's like Leah being annoying. It's like they're speaking Spanish again, but they're talking shit that we can read on our screens in the captions that they aren't hearing. It's annoyingly fun. So
yeah,
we can look at it both ways.
We'll chalk it up to being annoyingly fun. All right, guys. So keep watching. I'm going to give everybody a week. Jason and I will. Or the rest of the week, because we get the new Ultimate Girls Trip on Thursday. No more Miami. We're phased out of that. So if you want your little fill of Miami, then watch Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Friday, hopefully we'll be back for Hot Messy Topics as long as things keep coming out all week. So catch up with us then. That way we can revisit the conversation and have a lot more details into the episodes. With that, Jason, one more time, will you just kind of remind everybody what we have going on for the rest of the day and into tomorrow?
Yes, we have. Okay, so much going on. First of all, I'm going to start because you gave me the spotlight. But tonight we have our members only. Every week on Mondays, we're going to go behind the curtain a little bit just to kind of reveal what it was like working in the Vanderpump bubble for so long. And then also we have a really cool podcast episode that is on our second channel, Up and Adam 2, where we talk about Vanderpump Rules and interviewing, going through the process for it, and then choosing not to continue the process for that and why we did. So go listen to that. Tomorrow we have where Adam has the interview with Chanel Ayan at 1 p.m. ET. And then tomorrow night, in place of Anchor Watch, if there's any naughty yachties in here, we spent all weekend at the boat show and we got to tour one of Below Deck's famous yachts from one of the captains. So tune in on our second channel tomorrow night. Instead of Anchor Watch, we'll be doing that at 11 p.m. We will all be in the live chat together.
Yes. And as you guys can see, all of the after parties right here. Join in the live chat, and then Jason will be posting it. That way you guys know where to find it. I think that we had one hell of a Hot Messy Topics. We did an hour and 15 minutes. We said we were going to be on here for 30. So
seriously,
thank you guys. We will see you so very soon. Thank you to all of our mods. Thank you to our new members. We'll see you tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And if you guys need the link, then just go to the community tab. And if you haven't joined, go to the community tab and it's all right there. Love you guys. We'll see you tonight.